my high school class of 1965, Chillicothe High School, Ohio, was having its 50th reunion this summer. Actually last month, not this summer. And they were planned on doing a memorial for our classmates we had lost. This is in Mind of War, 1967 to 2015. Good Lord. God rest you, Paul Harris. It was a gray day, already stamped reject, when I opened the paper and saw it, and I thought for a moment, time traveled for a moment, about how he and I were just silly 7th graders, and I had never had a Negro classmate at my last school. And it was fun for both in homeroom to talk and laugh, because he was reticent too. He black, me new. But then in high school we saw each other little. A cool nod each to each, smiling, passing, not intersecting. That was it. Graduation came. Around us, the world went even more redly awry. And the next summer, at the bowling alley, or was it spring, seasons don't fix in the mind the way people do, don't stand out, don't starkly shine. When I was fresh from a campus where the war had been turned and examined in conversations and theories, home and bowling lines with classmates who didn't recognize him, and other customers who chose not to, Paul stood there in the back, reticent still, quietly, strong, stood there and stood out in army green. I went back to talk to him. He looked out of place in the mundane, almost godlike above it. He shone in his crisp army green, securely and proudly black among these whites that night, only himself. He said he guessed he liked it, didn't mind it too much, but he didn't sound convinced to me. Somebody has to do it, they say. Later the talk grew hesitant, awkward even. Then with smiles again and nods and handshake, we let it end. Was he where I should be, and him at my 5% black college, drawing pictures, not fire, and falling in love, or at least making it? The fine, pointed, nagging conscience of the 60s. But when he had left, it felt, well, just right. That someone had spoken to him there in the concussive din and crowded chatter of a bowling alley in his hometown. Awkward or not, somebody had to speak to this man, as somebody was supposed to speak to these men, these friends, these classmates who transcended theoretical conversations and were indeed warriors. True enough, others might question or suspect the talking. Were you trying to prove something? Was I? Peace enough that it felt right. Am I yet? The unsettling conscience of the 60s never stops challenging, never stops nagging. Oh, why do we still converse? But Paul Harris got shot down in a helicopter, fell through space, dead with red blood as good as anyone else's for a hero, dead. And killing and war and warriors since then have never been, at least for me, abstract again.